We're tracking storms going through Fort Worth right now. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. We have a major storm going on in Dallas right now. A confirmed tornado on the ground that is moving into the southern side of Fort Worth, Texas. So the National Weather Service here warning for a tornado and 2-inch size hail. So not only do we have that tornado hazard, but also that hail hazard as well. You can see that the radar shows a pretty significant tornado signature here. And then we've also gotten reports of 2-inch size hail on the highway here, the highway that is going just south of Weatherford and then into Aledo, Texas. Now we have this tornado warning for Crescent and Oak Trail Shores, Texas. So let me get you some information on this. The National Weather Service saying flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. So that's coming from the National Weather Service. Now, this tornado is moving to the east at 25 miles an hour. So not a fast moving system at all. And I would honestly be curious to know if it's actually going 25 miles an hour. It looks like it's a very, very slow mover here, which is not good because, as we have said before, it is currently on the ground. And if it's not moving very fast, it means that that tornado is impacting people for quite some time. So let's switch over to our 2-box here, or 4-box, to take a look at the storm in Dallas. Just a minute. And get some more information on it. So wait for the data to load. So it is a confirmed tornado on the ground moving to the east at 25 miles an hour. The National Weather Service has not said that where they have confirmed this tornado, but I assume it's a storm chaser. And you can see right here the area of rotation. It's a very, very clear area of rotation. You can also see where the tornado is and potentially some debris that's being lofted into the air. So by that, we also know where it is hitting and that it is on the ground because it's lofting debris high up into the air, detecting, and the radar is detecting that. So there's the tornado right there where that red square is. And then, of course, it's tracking to the east. Crescent is the next city in the path of this storm. We've got Crowley, Texas as well in the path of this storm as well. So we've got several very populated areas that are going to be in the path of this tornado, which is why the National Weather Service is taking this very, very seriously, saying to take shelter immediately. So that's what they're saying. They're saying tornadoes are extremely difficult to see and confirm at night. Do not wait to see or hear the tornado. Take cover now. So if you are within this red polygon here, or if you have a friend who is within this red polygon, make sure that you are alerting them, telling them to take cover right now. Oftentimes, people will respond better to people that they know before they take cover. So it's very important that we alert our friends in these areas to make sure that they are taking cover, because this is a very, very serious and dangerous situation here. Now, I see a lot of questions on here asking about Allen, Texas. We can take a look at some other places around Texas right now. Allen, Texas is not in a warning right now, but you may get some of this rain. It is not in the path of this tornado. So Allen, Texas is not in the path of the tornado. Those cities that are in the path are Crescent, Northern Granbury, Crowley, Texas, Benbrook, Arnetta, Godley, Texas. So these are areas that absolutely need to be keeping an eye on this storm as it continues to track to the east. This severe thunderstorm, or excuse me, this tornado warning is in effect until 9:15. So we've got another 13 minutes on this warning. Now, this is not the only storm that we have seen today. We have seen many, many other storms across the U.S. today. And actually, as I turn on our composite radar and then zoom out, you can see that we've got another severe thunderstorm warning down in Texas to the south of Abilene. We've got storms all across eastern Arkansas moving into Memphis right now. We've got storms in Memphis. These are warned for golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And then if we go farther up to the north, Oklahoma is surprisingly severe clear right now. However, there were tons of storms in Oklahoma earlier. We actually have some videos of a tornado in Oklahoma, which we'll show here in just a minute. Several severe thunderstorm warnings across Kansas right now. However, I do think that most of these are for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So, yes, I'm correct on that. And then we've got more storms going up in Nebraska or ongoing in Nebraska. But obviously, the biggest storm that we're talking about right now is that tornado warned storm down in the southern side of DFW. And I did tell you that we would look at other tornado video. So let me grab that for you real quick. So this tornado video that I'm about to show you is from Arnett, Oklahoma. We had storm chasers out there today in Arnett. And so this is the video that they got. They got a phenomenal view of the tornado. Well, I'm trying to pull it up for you guys. Alrighty, here's the view of the tornado in Arnett, Oklahoma earlier today. We have audio with this. I don't know if you guys can hear me in the background there, but we took this live earlier today, and we watched this tornado cross the road earlier today from their feed. And here, I can show it to you one more time. But also what you can see in this feed here is that they have a busted out windshield from some of the hail. And then you can see that tornado across the road. What a phenomenal view. They got a great view of this tornado. And again, this was in Arnett, Oklahoma today. That is near the Woodward area up in northwestern Oklahoma. So this was earlier today. This is not happening now. Right now, what we're really watching for is that Dallas tornado. And we'll go back to the radar here in just a minute. Holy moly, you can see the debris flying everywhere from this tornado. Yeah, such a crazy video. And then there's the busted out windshield. Wow. Alrighty, let's go back to the radar as we have this tornado moving into Dallas right now. So DFW, it'll be on the southern side of Fort Worth. It's moving pretty slow. It truly is not a fast mover here. Moving to the east at about 25 miles an hour. However, I bet it's even slower than that. I bet it's slower than 25 miles an hour. Here's the evolution of this tornado. It has a history of producing tornadoes previously. About, what is that, 40 miles back? It's already produced a tornado. And it's kind of been paralleling the highway here as it's made its way closer and closer to Fort Worth. So we've known that this storm is coming. And there you go. That's what we're dealing with right now. So tell me where you guys are watching from. Let me know in the chat where you guys are watching from, and if you have any forecast questions or any radar questions, we can get to that as well. So this was the storm that we showed you guys earlier out in Arnett, Oklahoma. This storm right here. We go all the way back. Yeah, this was the tornado that we showed you just a few minutes ago. But we've had chasers all across Kansas today also sending us videos. So we'll post more of that on our YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter channels. So make sure that you keep an eye on that over the next few days as we get more of that video out. But again, if you are included in this pink polygon right now, you need to be in your safe space. You need to be in a safe space in the bottom room of your house. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You need to be taking cover if you are in the southern Fort Worth area, southwestern Fort Worth area. So seeing a lot of your comments on here right now. People jumping in from Kansas City, Missouri, others from Minnesota, Garland, Texas. We've got a very wide range of people from many areas of the country on here tonight. Michael is asking, any hail forecasted for Kansas City? Now tonight, you have a very low chance. You've got some storms to the west of you right now in places like Manhattan and Marysville. However, I would say the better chances for hail in Kansas City are going to come later on. Well, I guess not later on in the week. It's going to be like Monday and Tuesday. So tomorrow you have a pretty good chance for hail in Kansas City. And then Tuesday you have another good chance. Well, it's a little bit farther to the east. Still includes Missouri, but it's a bit farther to the east. Here, I can show you those maps. Alrighty, here's the Storm Prediction Center. So there we go on Monday. This is your risk for Monday. It still includes Oklahoma City, Norman, northern portions of Dallas, Springfield, and Jefferson. And then on Tuesday, the risk shifts out to the east, and we've got Nashville, Jackson, Memphis, Greenville, all included in that large hail risk there. Look at the hail risk for tomorrow. It's going to be like rinse and repeat. We're going to see this once again tomorrow. Very similar to how we did today. And we'll have storm chasers out there, so we'll be watching to share their feed as well. There you go. Go back to the radar and watch this storm come into Fort Worth right now. We've got another person hopping on from Sanger, Texas, so a little bit farther up to the north. You guys are probably getting some really loud storms right now. I see a lot of lightning and thunder up near Sanger moving in right now. However, this is not severe warned, so you shouldn't be too terribly concerned with the severe risk here. It is looking like it's moving pretty slow, and you've got some flash flood watches or warnings, flash flood warning farther back to your west. So you may get some ponding on the roadways and have a flash flood danger in the next few hours. Another question about any photos of hail this evening. Not yet, but I bet this one will bring some hail into the city. But I don't think that we've seen any significant storms in Dallas yet. No, this is your big hailer right here. Another question about North Dallas tonight. So yeah, you could get hail up there. I think it's a pretty low risk compared to South Dallas. I think that if I was going to choose an area of the city to get hit, it would probably be in the southern side of the city, mainly because we've got that storm ongoing right down here south of Fort Worth right now. Another question about Godly, Texas. So Godly, Texas needs to be on high alert for this storm because you guys are near this tornado warning. But here's an update. It is now downgraded to a severe thunderstorm warning. So it looks like this storm is weakening. This is great news for those in Fort Worth because of course you don't want that tornado coming right at you. It's a very populated area. We definitely do not want this storm coming right at you. Now, this storm is still moving to the east into places like Crescent, North Godly, Joshua, Crowley, Retta, Forest Hill. The severe thunderstorm warning now includes Fort Worth, but it has been downgraded from a confirmed tornado to now a $half size hail risk and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So you still got some hail with this. Bentley asking about Colorado. Yeah, Colorado got many storms earlier this evening. We can play this through and show you what happened over the last 4 hours. Now, Colorado storms maybe a little bit, yeah, it's out of our timeline here. I only have radar for the last 4 hours, and it looks like most of those storms out in Denver and Colorado were later than 4 hours ago. I know that we had a tornado in this area just to the east of Denver, and then we saw some large hail with that as well, but this is the big story right now. Yeah, some people on YouTube saying that this storm is losing energy. So yeah, this storm is disorganizing. So it has the potential. So watch over the last 4 hours what this storm has done. Produced a tornado out by Eastland, disorganized, reorganized as it came into the city. So it has the potential to cycle through. However, it's not posing an immediate threat right now, which is why they removed that tornado warning and just issued a severe thunderstorm warning. Now, if we go over to our 4-box, we can see that, yeah, it's absolutely disorganized. 1 second. There we go. You can see a very clear area of rotation back here. However, you go farther into real time and that area of rotation does not look like it's there anymore. The inflow has absolutely disorganized as well. So again, this is great news for those in Fort Worth. However, we may still have a decent hail core right here where the red box is. So this is Annetta South. South of Annetta South, this is where we're seeing our hail core still. So we could get quarter-size hail, maybe $half size hail here. So we'll continue to watch this storm right here as it moves into Fort Worth. Confirmed tornado farther back to the west here. Now, our meteorologists have that tornado mapped, so you can head over to hailtrace.com right now and you can see that swath, that tornado path right now. They have been keeping an eye on it. We've actually been messaging back and forth. They said, have you seen this crazy tornado? And I said, yeah, I've been watching it. It looks pretty impressive. So we have many eyes on this storm right here from meteorologists all across the city. They're watching this, but it really does. It doesn't look as impressive now as it did earlier. It has started to fizzle out. So whoever said it's starting to lose energy was correct. And I do imagine there's probably one person saying, I think there's some damage though. Yeah, I would imagine that there's probably some impacts farther back here. Whenever it was on the ground. However, as it disorganized, it's not making as much of an impact. However, it is coming into Fort Worth right now, so many more people impacted by this. A little bit of hail included with this storm farther back to on the west side of this storm. So we're talking about the Annetta South area right here. This is where we're seeing that larger hail. However, really not terribly big. I would say probably about the size of a quarter or maybe even up to $half size. So that's about an inch and a quarter in size, in diameter. And again, this is not the only chance for storms that we have over the next few days. Dallas is in the risk for tomorrow as well. We will be probably back in the same location, maybe on the green screen for tomorrow. Don't forget that we do have a noon forecast every single weekday and occasionally on the weekends sometimes, if it's a big enough event. So yesterday we had a noon forecast. On Saturday, actually it was like a 10:30 a.m. forecast. But we will be covering those storms tomorrow in our noon forecast, and we'll have storm chasers out there as well. Speaking of storm chasers, here's a phenomenal video from what we got from one of our storm chasers earlier today. I'm going to show this video again. That was from earlier this afternoon in Arnett, Oklahoma. What a crazy video here. John Choquette was out there chasing for us this afternoon, and we'll show more of his video on our different social media platforms over the next few days. But you can hear me in the background saying, oh, he doesn't have great service. We can't really see it. But we did take that live earlier this afternoon, right around 5 o'clock, 5:30. So I guess earlier this evening. And we did take that storm live, but this is a much better picture of that storm. It was very, very impressive tornado here. And you can see all the debris flying around as it crosses the road, hitting different structures, tossing debris up in the air. And so often this is what we are detecting whenever we talk about a correlation coefficient drop. We'll call it a CC drop. And what that means is that we've got debris in the air, and that is what the radar is detecting as like a larger object in the air. And it's oftentimes debris being lofted into the air. And we can see that in real time right there. So phenomenal video, John. Thank you for being out there for us today. I know that makes for a very long day, but we appreciate him being out there. All right, let's take a look at our Fort Worth storm. What's happening out in Fort Worth? Do we have any big updates to give you guys here? So this storm is still warned for $half size hail. It's moving to the east at about 25 miles an hour. Slow mover here, so we're not only worried about that hail threat, but we're also worried about that flooding threat as well. So you may see some ponding on the roadways if you have to get back out on this Sunday evening in Fort Worth. Another question here, Kansas City, storms creeping in right now. We can go up to Kansas City and take a look at Kansas City. Yeah, you guys have some storms creeping in right now. You are correct. However, these are not severe. You may get some high wind from these. However, the severe risk right here, pretty low. What we are seeing are some stronger storms farther back to the west Greensburg, we've got a tornado between Greensburg and Coldwater right now. Tornado and large hail up to 2 inches in diameter. So there's a very, very significant storm down near Greensburg. And then a few more storms as you head farther to the north into Nebraska. We've got another storm that's moving into Memphis right now, and this is warned for $half size hail. So that seems to be the consensus around the country right now. For the most part, small hailstones other than that storm out in southern Kansas. Larger hailstones over here. Quarter size hail near Dallas, moving into Fort Worth right now. And this is a great question. I'm reading through your comments right here. Michael is saying that there were 3 large tornadoes reported in Santos, Texas. Yeah, so that tornado, those tornadoes that you're referring to there, came from this storm right here. And the history of this storm has been a tornado producer, which I think is why the National Weather Service of Fort Worth was taking this so seriously, because we have seen this storm produce tornadoes earlier this evening. So over the last 4 hours, this thing has been cranking out tornadoes. And what you're referring to there is you're referring to, for anyone who doesn't know where Santo, Texas is, right here north of the highway. So at that point, this storm was not only producing tornadoes, but also producing large hail. So you can see that we've got 2-inch size hailstone reported here, just right along the highway from some storm chasers in the area. But as it came into Fort Worth, thankfully, that tornado threat died down, and now we have a hail threat moving into Fort Worth right now. So again, the storm's still warned for $half size hail as it moves into Aledo, Benbrook, Edgecliff Village, and Fort Worth. Crescent, Crowley, all included in this severe thunderstorm warning as well. But since it's not warned for anything large, we will move on to some other storms here. You can see that we have another severe thunderstorm warning out in Denton. So this is brand new information. Denton, Texas, quarter size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind speeds. I know that we had someone asking from this area earlier. I can't remember exactly which city they were asking about, but it was up here north of Dallas, north of Fort Worth. Denton, Texas right now, quarter size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So that seems to be the consensus for all of these storms, except for this one in southern Kansas. Most of these are warned for quarter size hail. Any other questions here? Alrighty, well, I watched these severe thunderstorm warnings. I think I'm going to hop off of the live here. We have a few more videos that we want to get posted by the end of the night because we did have lots of storm chasers out today. So we've got lots of storm chasing photos coming to social media. Follow our Facebook, our Twitter, our Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok pages. We will be posting videos of the tornadoes that we saw today on those platforms, and we'll continue to post over the next few days as our storm chasers get out again tomorrow. And on Tuesday, we will get more videos and photos in to send or to show you guys. So we will be back if there are any other big storms in any big cities. But until then, hit that follow button, and we'll see you tomorrow for your forecast at noon.